Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of the Overdrive Files. Hope you're all having a great start to your weekend wherever you are in the world dealing with this COVID-19 virus. Hope you're all doing safe and being able to keep yourself entertained while indoors. So with all that, let's get into some entertainment news here regarding the DC world of things. First up here, we've got some Zack Snyder Justice League cut info here. And now this guy, he's always given us fans a little bit of a taste of the pie. You know, there's the Snyder cut out there that we're all dying to see, and he just loves to tease the fans oh so much. But right here is a brand new image that Zack Snyder released. It's obviously Silas Stone, Cyborg's dad, if you didn't know, scientist of Star Labs, as well as Ryan. I don't remember. This guy, I believe, was cut from the film, but Ryan Choi, aka Adam, is the guy in the other on the left there. But obviously here, it looks like these guys are staring at something within Star Labs. But in like the foreground on the left, it almost looks like, to me, this was very sort of similar to kind of like in Batman v Superman, where eventually Bruce Wayne gets the kryptonite rock from Lex Luthor. He steals it from LexCorp, and he brings it back to the Batcave, and he sort of like laser cuts it into the spearhead that we see at the end of the movie. This looks a lot like that, in my opinion. Like, that doesn't quite look like a mother box to me. And obviously Silas Stone, we know for years after the accident with Victor, and this goes back to Cyborg's origin story, he's always been tinkering with the mother box and Victor. And this to me looks like something other than a mother box. I'm not sure what it is, but it sort of reminds me of that kryptonite like rock that we saw in BVS. I don't know 100% sure, but he doesn't, I don't know. Zack Snyder likes to tease with sort of important images. It's not just like I don't know. It's just not like a scene that's meaningless, if you want to call it that. But just another image to sort of tease the fans with and add more fuel to the fire of wanting us all to eventually see this thing. But this was from Cineblend, but obviously it's from Zack Snyder's Vero account. So if you want to get more behind the scenes stuff of the Snyder cut, follow Zach on Vero. So he definitely does not shy away from giving the fans a little bit of a taste of the Snyder cut. But moving on from that, we've gone to the main topic of the show. A little bit of Black Adam news, which I don't know the last time I've even talked about Black Adam on this channel. And to be honest, I'm not terribly excited for the Black Adam movie. Now, The Rock has been attached to this thing for, I think, 10 years. I think he put out a recent Instagram video that it was like 2008 or 2009 since he first started talking to Warner Brothers about being Black Adam. And I mean, the guy's a great choice to play that character, but I've just not been a fan of The Rock's movies lately. They all seem to kind of have the same tone, whether it's the Jumanji movies or like Baywatch. Like it's all this kind of like campy, cheesy tone. And I mean, I think The Rock definitely fits in Shazam, that sort of like the Shazam side of things. And I liked Shazam. It was a fun sort of like family superhero comedy, but that's not necessarily where I want the DC movies to go forward. Like that's not the tone that I want them to be kind of taking on. Like I was a really big fan of like the Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and even Wonder Woman for the most part, like that style of tone, like that's kind of what I wanted them to continue doing, but it seems like they're softening up a little bit, trying to, aside from like the Joker, obviously, but sort of give into that more family friendly tone. But this gets into sort of a little bit of plot leak, I guess. So if you're not wanting to catch up on the plot leak for Black Adam, you might want to tune away. But I think this is all coming from Fandom Wire, but there is a little bit of a Twitter user sort of describing the script of which he read of the Black Adam movie. Twitter user claims to have read parts of the script where the movie is described as a DC fan's wonderland. I've read parts of the Black Adam script. It's a DC fan's wonderland. Hope the movie isn't delayed too much by the coronavirus because I want to see this sooner rather than later. Gonna be worth the wait no matter what, though, tweeted Thomas Polito of Geeks Worldwide. The tone is right down the middle between Shazam and Batman v Superman / Man of Steel. That's a good sign. Light sci humor with some dark elements. It works well. It's also claimed that Black Adam started pre-production as apparently an Arab Middle Eastern actress is being sought for the role of Isis / Adriana. It's now possible that due to the coronavirus, that filming on Black Adam may have to start later than its original July production date. And the reality is that's going to be the case for a lot of movies coming out. Batman with Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves. That release date is, some people are reporting that might even have to be pushed back because of the production delay. So there's going to be a big domino effect with all this COVID-19 stuff now that it's like taking the planet worldwide by ransom for the most part. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But let's get into this little plot leak that they talk about. And this is coming from sort of a pop culture news site. So it might not be entirely true, but it's always fun to speculate. All right. So according to Fandom Wire, Black Adam kicks off with an epic 30-minute origin story where Black Adam fights the JSA. It's claimed that Black Adam releases the 7 sins, the same ones we saw from Shazam, but this opening is set in the past where the JSA of that time defeat and imprison Black Adam. It's claimed this version of the JSA is made up of a young version of the wizard Shazam, played by Jaimin Hansu, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Dr. Fate, the Jay Garrick Flash, and the Alan Scott Green Lantern. Fast forward to the present day or so, and Black Adam escapes his tomb imprisonment where the JSA needs to reform again and do battle, but with a different team consisting of the reincarnated Hawkman and Hawkgirl in different bodies. The immortal Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, Cyclone, and they also work with Black Adam's love interest, Isis, but it's claimed they won't be using the Isis name for obvious reasons, but are going with Adriana. Rumors have also suggested that Dwayne Johnson wants Henry Cavill to return as Superman down the road, as Henry Cavill is managed by Johnson's former wife, business partner, and fellow Black Adam and Shazam producer, Danny Garcia. Says Black Adam has a December 22nd, 2021 release date. So almost a little over a year and a half away. And are they going to hit this? I don't necessarily think so. It's possible, but this is like a movie that warrants a lot of visual effects. So we'll just have to wait and see. But as far as the Justice Society of America, and for those of you who don't know, the JSA are like the first like comic book team up characters. I think they debuted in like the 1940s. They were like the first superhero team up, even before the Justice League. I mean, you have the Jay Garrick Flash where he's wearing like the old like metal helmet with the lightning bolts on the side. I love that helmet. It's just kind of a very iconic look to it. But as far as like having like the first 30 minutes being this, I don't know, this epic fight sequence between the Justice Society of America, it almost reminded me of in Justice League, the recent Justice League. Well, Zack Snyder filmed that epic sequence between You know, you have the mortals and the gods fighting, you know, Darkseid and Steppenwolf over the mother boxes. You know, they do that backstory of this epic battle. It kind of reminded me of that, and I just thought it was an interesting way to sort of, I don't know, add a little bit more mythos and lore to these characters, especially like you have Black Adam, but who does this guy go up against other than Shazam? Well, okay, Justice Society of America. These are some really cool characters that aren't the sort of like flagship DC characters that like Warner Brothers is holding on to. You know, like they're being particular with what Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman are doing. Like for whatever reason, they don't have any plans for Henry Cavill's Superman unless he makes a cameo in this movie. We just have not heard anything more of Warner Brothers doing another standalone Superman movie, which is really unfortunate. But like the JSA, like these are some rich characters that you could incorporate in really interesting ways. And why not do it in a Black Adam movie? I mean, if you're going to be doing this sort of origin movie about Black Adam, like go big or go home, you know? So I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is a really cool way to introduce some new characters. And I don't know if like the JSA are going to get their own movie or anything like that. But why not? Like, okay, so if this takes place in like the 30s or 40s or whenever, there might obviously be a time jump, which they seem to sort of indicate in this little script leak here. And then at the end of the movie, does he fight Shazam? Or I'm not quite certain how this will all work, but are we going to be rooting for the bad guy? I'm not sure. So it's all interesting, but guys, let me know your thoughts on this topic down below. Okay, so moving on, Justice League Mortal. So for those of you who do not know, in 2008, there was supposed to be, or I guess they were supposed to start principal photography in 2008, but this movie was supposed to come out in like 2009, 2010, sometime around that. George Miller, who we all know from the Mad Max franchise, recently Mad Max Fury Road, which is a phenomenal movie, he was set to direct a Justice League movie, Justice League Mortal. And this was going to be going concurrently during the same time of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. And like this article says, it was supposed to begin principal photography in 2008. Obviously, this time frame, there was the writer's strike. And I think Christopher Nolan was very vocal about not wanting another iteration of Batman going concurrently with his trilogy and thought it would be very confusing, which I somewhat have to agree with. But, and I had no idea about this. There's a documentary that's going on about this entire thing. And this article goes into a little bit of this, but in the mid to late 90s, Tim Burton was supposed to direct a Superman movie, Superman Lives. And John Schnepp, who was well known in the geek fandom community, made a documentary called The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. And it's an incredible documentary, just sort of going over this entire movie that was so close to being made. And just, I mean, it had Nicolas Cage as Superman with this like crazy, like lit up Superman suit. And it was just completely bizarre. And you had producer John Peters, who's this total weirdo, wanting to incorporate some like spider in this movie, and like for whatever reason Superman couldn't fly. And this was also going to be written by Kevin Smith, and just this whole Superman movie that was never happened. But a phenomenal documentary came out of it. And you know, I don't know if like the documentary for this will be nearly as good, but this is such a rich sort of topic to dive deep into. And like Armie Hammer was going to be playing Batman. Who are some of the other actors in this thing? I forgot. Can't find them. Adam Brody was the Flash, DJ Catrona as Superman, and Megan Gale as Wonder Woman. The story would have followed the iconic team taking on Jay Baruchel's Maxwell Lord, loosely based on JLA Tower of Babel. The studio had every intention of getting it into production, but with the 2007-2008 Writers Guild of America strike, along with several production issues, the film eventually got shelved. But I'm really looking forward to this, and I had no idea that this was even happening, that anyone was really even working on this thing. But I'm just really looking forward to this, and I think this could be something spectacular. So guys, let me know your thoughts on all these topics down below. What do you think of that photo that Zack Snyder posted on Vero? The news surrounding Black Adam, including the Justice Society of America, as well as this Justice League Mortal documentary. Let me know down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rex Overdrive. I'll see you next time.